in your own words. People say that to you. You know, when you hear that a lot in a classroom or in a courtroom, they'll say to you, tell us in your own words. Do you have your own words?
Oh shit, 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 oh shit.
Terrence Crawford exposed the 25% offer that Devin was given to Shakur Stevenson. But not the way y'all think. Let's talk.
Gotcha, bitch!
Straighter, not roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about, the straight shot, the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right? I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you hear, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So while you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link, get prepared to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
Some people get like probably like 8%, 9% of a pay-per-view fight. They probably get like, I was getting what, 6, 8% of the gate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like I said, your promoter, he's getting all that.
Right, so I'm saying, if you're getting 6%, then there's somebody that's getting the 94%.
Yeah, I was getting 6% of the gate. I was getting 8 to 6% of the pay-per-view shares after it meet like a certain number that it never met. Yeah.
See, that's you right there. I see this your shit. Smell that, that's you.
Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I could have swore I just heard Terrence Crawford break down what he was making. Now, Terrence Crawford doesn't have Jay Prince in his corner. Terrence Crawford doesn't have Andre Ward. Terrence Crawford doesn't have a whole other team of people. Terrence Crawford just have Bomac and members only Bernie. That's all he's got in his corner. But Shakur Stevenson has Jay Prince. He's got a whole team of people. He's got Andre Ward. He's got a whole bunch of people that are in his corner. And I'm trying to figure out, like, when you do the math, right? When you say to yourself, Devin offered this man 25% of everything, right? When you say that. And then when you look at the math and you say, Shakur Stevenson is not Terrence Crawford. So Terrence Crawford was getting 8% of his pay-per-views. He was getting 6% of his gates, which is roughly, that's 14% total. That's after whatever number becomes whatever number. That's what Terrence Crawford was getting. Devin offered him 25% of everything. Again, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not. But if you add 8 and 6 together, you get 14. That's what you get. Devin offered him 25% of everything. Now, from the outside looking in, if Terrence Crawford didn't put these numbers out there, right? If he didn't put these numbers out there, everybody would be like, oh, man, Shakur getting lowball, man. He getting lowball. They ain't giving him no money, man. It's crazy. I can't believe that. Why can't he get 50-50? Why can't he get 60%? Bro, he's this and he's that. I understand you guys will be running with that. But Terrence Crawford put this out. Yeah, Terrence Crawford did this. Terrence Crawford told the world that he only gets 8% of his pay-per-views and 6% of the gate. And that's after they decide to say, hey, this was the number. He didn't never know what the number was. But you guys running around here telling me that Terrence Crawford makes so much money. Oh, man, Terrence Crawford, man, he over there getting paid, man. Errol Spence living paycheck to paycheck. That's what happened to get paycheck to paycheck, because Terrence Crawford get paid. That's what y'all told me. But 8% and 6% of the total gate. So if you were to look at the numbers that Terrence Crawford was making, 125,000 pay-per-views, 200,000 when it came to Sean Porter, 50,000 with Victor Postol, when it came to those type of numbers, right? But BFTB, he made a guarantee too. He got a guarantee. Don't worry about it. We'll speak on that guarantee here this week. We'll speak on the guarantee here this week, but it's okay. Make sure y'all keep that same energy. But we'll speak on the guarantee. Not we. He spoke on the guarantee, but it's okay. It's okay. Shakur Stevenson was offered more than what Terrence Crawford got combined. Shakur Stevenson was offered 25% of everything. And all people would say to me is, yo, BFTB, well, what is everything? What's the whole thing? What's the total number? Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Well, Devin told you guys that you will make more fighting me for 25% than you've made in your last 3 fights. Now, thanks to the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter, Terrence Bud Crawford, for putting this information out. So thanks to the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Thank you. Because what people don't realize, right, is that 14% might not more than likely be 14%, because Terrence Crawford said that's 14% or 8 and 6%, which equals 14, after they came up with a number that they don't tell you what the number is. The issue here is that Devin is his own boss. The issue here is that Devin Haney, being within Devin Haney Promotions, would be talking directly to the networks, whatever network that is, to see what the total number they're going to buy the fight for. The total number that they believe that fight is worth. Devin Haney Promotions would be in the room with that. Because Terrence Crawford will tell you, unless you're in the room, you'll never know. Don't worry about it. You'll see that this week. Unless you're in the room, you'll never know. Devin Haney Promotions is in there. Like Terrence Crawford just said, man, if he's only getting 8% and 6%, then the promoter is getting the other 92% or 94%. The promoter is getting that, i.e. Devin Haney Promotions. Yeah, Devin Haney Promotions would be getting that. Because Devin is not signed to a promoter. Devin is not signed to nobody that's going to dictate his bag. Devin Haney Promotions will go to the network to get the bag. Devin Haney Promotions. And when Devin Haney Promotions goes to the network to get the bag, Devin Haney Promotions will be offering 25%. Yeah, when Bob Arum says, 25%, blah, 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 it's really not this. Yeah, because that's dibble-dabbling into Bob Arum's money. Yeah, it's dibble-dabbling into his bag. His bag. Whatever split Devin and Shakur got, Bob Arum gets his split. I told you guys this before. I told you multiple times this before. The promoters go to the network. The networks are the one that put up the money. The networks put up the money. The networks say that we believe this fight is worth this. I told you guys this. The networks do that. And they tell the promoters. They tell Bob Arum. They tell motherfucking, not Al Heyman, but, Tom Brown. They tell motherfucking Eddie Hearn. They tell them what that fight is worth to them. They tell them that. Well, in this case with Devin and Shakur, it would have been Devin Haney Promotions in conglomeration with Top Rank. So both Devin Haney Promotions and Top Rank would have known what ESPN was offering for that fight. They both would have known. Both of them. Because they're both promoters for that fight. Because remember, Devin wasn't signed with Top Rank no more. Which means that the promoter would be in the room to figure out what the bag is. The promoter, Devin Haney Promotions, Top Rank for Shakur Stevenson, right? Devin Haney Promotions for Devin, Top Rank for Shakur. Both of them would have been in the room with the networks, and the network would have said, ESPN would have told them both, hey, We think this fight is worth that. So when the promoter comes back and says, we'll offer you this, 25%, it's literally more than what Terrence Crawford was making for his fights. More. 14% is what Terrence Crawford was making for his fights. Devin offers Shakur Stevenson 25%. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not a mathematician. But I know 8% for pay-per-views and 6% for the gate equals 14% total. Devin was offered him 25. He was offered him 25. So Terrence Crawford coming out here capping, talking about, expressing to the world how he was getting lowballed and fucked over at Top Rank, but nobody was talking about that. Nobody was talking about how Terrence Crawford is telling you that he was getting lowballed and fucked over at Top Rank, but he re-signed, whatever, we'll get to that later on this week. Nobody was telling you how he was getting lowballed. 8% from the pay-per-views. 8%. So if you did 1 million pay-per-view buys, 8% of 1 million pay-per-view buys, 8%. Well, if you think 10% of 1 million is 100,000, because there's 10 100,000s in 1 million. So 10% of 1 million pay-per-view buys is 100,000. 8% is 80,000. So if he sold 1 million pay-per-views, he was making the equivalent as if they only sold 80,000. Yeah. Well, on Devin's side, if they sold 1 million pay-per-views, if Shakur and Devin sold 1 million pay-per-views, and he was off from 25%, that is 250,000 pay-per-view buys. That's the equivalent. Devin was offering Shakur Stevenson, if they did 1 million pay-per-view buys, of the equivalent of if they sold 250,000 pay-per-view buys. Terrence Crawford was getting, if they made 1 million pay-per-view buys, he was getting the equivalent of if they only did 80,000 pay-per-view buys. So Devin was offering Shakur more than what Terrence Crawford was getting. More. This is not fluff. This is not no maneuvering, no narrative. You heard Terrence Crawford say it himself. You heard that. Devin was giving Shakur Stevenson 25% of everything. Everything. Terrence Crawford was getting 14%. Which means I don't even know what Shakur's getting. Because Shakur hasn't done a pay-per-view yet. He hasn't done one at all. And if he's not privy to how much money the networks recouped, he's not privy to that. Motherfucking Shakur Stevenson, they're not telling him, hey man, we made X amount of dollars on you and Oscar Valdez. We made X amount of dollars on you and Rob Casamigos. They're not telling him that. For what reason? He's not a promoter. They're telling Bob Arum that. It's up to Bob Arum to tell him that. If Bob Arum don't want to tell this nigga that, then Bob Arum don't got to tell that nigga that. Bob Arum could just cut this man a guaranteed check. Here you go. Be happy. This is a check for $1 million. Then you run out here and buy some chains and cars and a house and you think you living a life. When the real reality is you should have made $8 million. That's the reality. You should have made $8 million or $5 million. You should have made that. That you made $1 million and you like, man, it's $1 million. That's more money I've made in my life. And it is. But it isn't what you should have made. Devin offered this man what he should have made. And he told him no. He offered him what he should have made and he told him no. See, the issue that you guys have when it comes to this is that you say it's the business of boxing, it's a business BF, it's a business of boxing. That's what you say. You say it's the business of boxing. But you're not in the business of boxing. Bro, the business of boxing is The business of boxing is to keep the business of boxing with the people who make the business. Let me say that one more time. The business of boxing is to keep the business of boxing with the people who make the business. They're not fighters. They're just collecting a bag. They're not fighters, bro. They're just getting paid. And Terrence Crawford told you guys what it is because he's no longer with Top Rank no more. So he can spill all the beans. He told y'all he was only making 8% of the pay-per-views and 6% of the gate. That's it. That's all he was making. So he was making a total of 14% for his fights. 14. So if you remove the pay-per-view model and you just say viewership, right? Because you get paid off of viewership. Well, then it would be viewership and gate. That's what he was getting paid. Viewership and gate. So if you take his viewership and gate and you don't know what the true viewership is, then I can tell you whatever fucking number I want to tell you. Whatever number I want. And that's what Top Rank was doing to Terrence Crawford. They was telling this man whatever number they wanted, some fucking fake ass number, which again, he never fucking knew what the full numbers were. They were telling some fucking fake ass number. And then they say, you're getting a hefty percentage of this when the reality was, after he left, he knew what he was getting. 8% of the pay-per-views and 6% of the fucking gate. That's it. And he was the main event in every fucking fight that he was in. He was the main event. And as the main event, getting 14% total of everything. As the main event. Well, what the fuck do you think the undercards were making? What do you think the fucking the co-main was making? What do you think the fucking the B-side in the main event was making? Because that's the A-side in the main event. Terrence Crawford was the A-side in every main event that he fought in, except for Errol Spence where he got 50-50. But he was the A-side in all the rest of these motherfuckers. So as the A-side getting 14% as the A-side, what do you think the B-side's getting? What do you think the B-side is getting, y'all? Devin Haney offered Shakur Stevenson more than what Terrence Crawford was making as the A-side. Facts. But you guys are you're not business savvy, so all you see is the 25%. What you're not realizing is that everybody else got to get paid. Everybody else was getting paid when it came to this. Everybody else was getting paid out of Devin's pocket. Shakur Stevenson was getting 25% of everything. That was his cut, 25% of everything. Devin was going to have to come out of pocket, or Devin Haney Promotions was going to have to come out of pocket for everybody else. So when the numbers probably got skewed correctly after all of that, they more than likely would have been doing fucking 50-50. 50-50 more than like. Or dare I say Shakur Stevenson might have been making fucking more than Devin Haney. Dare I say this? Dare I say that Shakur fuck around and been making more than Devin? Because Shakur's 25% of everything would have been before everybody else. That's your cut, 25% of everything. This is what we're getting from the network. You're getting 25%. This is what we're getting from the network. We're getting $1 million from the network. You're getting $250,000 out of that million. 25%. You're getting that of everything. There you go. Everything you're getting. Everything. There you go. There you go. Correction. If we're getting $1 million from the motherfucking networks, and then the gate does $1 million, that's $2 million. So you're getting $500,000. That's what you're getting. Again, this is just keep the numbers small so you guys can comprehend. There is now $1.5 million left. Out of that $1.5 million, everybody got to get paid. Everybody got to get paid out of the $1.5 million, to include Devin. There's $1.5 million. Out of that $1.5 million, everybody else got to get paid. Everybody and everything has to get paid out of that 1.5 that's left over, to include Devin. So when the numbers get skewed, they were more than likely making closer to 50 than you guys even imagined. That's why Devin's team was like, what the fuck are you doing? What, 25% of everything? What are you doing? Bro, you're cutting into your money. You're cutting into your check. 25% of everything? Bro, you do realize that everybody else got to get paid, to include you. You're the A side. You're the undisputed champion. You went overseas to Australia to get this for 21%. You did that. And again, I want everybody to understand, the 21% was what it turned out to be. That was the outcome. Devin got a flat fucking fee, and that's it. A flat fucking fee. But when you do the numbers together, that's what it turned out to be, was 21%. And then Devin, as the A side, after beating George Kambosos, got the same exact number, the same exact flat fee, the same thing, which turned out to once again be the same exact number, 21%. So Devin ended up taking less for 2 fights in Australia to fight Bozo than he was going to give Shakur. And motherfuckers is running around here talking about be fair, we gotta be fair in the split, be fair. What the fuck you talking about? Devin was going to give this man more than what he got. How is it fair for Devin to give him more than what he got? How is that fair? Oh, BFTB, but Floyd Mayweather, but what Floyd said, Floyd was always the A side. Save for one time against Oscar De La Hoya, where he took 25 fucking percent. He took 25%. But we run around and talk about, well, Floyd, man, Floyd. Floyd gave Canelo Alvarez $5 fucking million in the then highest grossing fight in boxing history. Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez at that time was the highest grossing fight in boxing history. Canelo Alvarez got $5 million guaranteed. Facts. That's what he got. That's it. Now, he was able to recoup his money on the back end because he got all the Mexican pay-per-views. All of that. Everything that happened in Mexico, Canelo Alvarez got that. Everything. He got $5 million to fight Floyd, and everything that happened in Mexico, all the Mexican pay-per-view bag, Canelo got that. Floyd got everything else. Floyd got the American bag. But don't nobody want to talk about that, though, right? But see, for Floyd Mayweather, that was fair for him. Because he was the A side, he was the draw, he was this, he was that, he was blah. He put Canelo on his undercards and blah, blah, blah. He built him up to smack him down. So when Floyd said that, it was the business that he wants to keep out of your business. It's his business. That's why he wanted to keep it out and say, oh, well, we could be fair. We could be fair. Because that business for Canelo Alvarez was fair to him. It was fair to him to give Canelo Alvarez $5 million flat, and then you take the Mexican bag. I'll take the American bag, where the American dollar is more than the Mexican dollar. But you take the smaller dollar, I'll take the bigger dollar. It's fair. I'm American, you're Mexican. It's fair. That was Floyd's fair. But yet he's telling you motherfuckers, oh man, just because you got dirty, Devin, don't mean you got to do the next guy got dirty. All right, bet. So Devin takes, you guys fight in Vegas. Devin takes the Vegas, whatever happened in Vegas, Devin takes that. Whatever pay-per-view sales happen over there, from all of the West Coast, all that, Devin takes all that. Shakur, you're from Jersey, you take the Jersey pay-per-views. Whatever they buy in Jersey, you take that. Whatever they buy elsewhere is Devin's. That's the equivalent of the deal that Floyd Mayweather did with Canelo Alvarez while he's running around talking about fair. Terrence Crawford told you guys what it is. Terrence Crawford exposed this to you guys. Terrence Crawford exposed that about his fight, the people he mentors, and about what happened to him with Top Rank. But where Terrence Crawford is failing is that Terrence Crawford is not telling these guys to leave Top Rank. Yeah, he ain't telling them to leave Top Rank. Nah, he ain't telling none of that. He's, Shakur, my little bro, Shakur this and blah, 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 yada, yada. But you're not telling your little bro, hey man, I was only making 14% total until I fucking left. He wasn't saying that. And he still ain't saying that. But he's out here telling you guys what he made. And he's a bigger draw than Shakur Stevenson. So a bigger draw than Shakur Stevenson was making 14% total. A bigger draw. Shakur is not a draw. He's not as big a draw as Terrence Crawford. It's not even fucking close. It's not even close. He is not a bigger draw than Terrence Crawford. At all. At all. But he was only making 14%. So what the fuck do you think Shakur is making? What do you think he's making? So Terrence Crawford's getting 14%, but he's paying Bomac. He's paying his team. He's paying Bernie. He's paying motherfuckers out of his 14%. Although it's clear as day that Bomac's getting a cut. Whatever. Bomac's getting a cut out of making sure he stayed with Top Rank. He was getting a cut of that. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Oh, it's a narrative, BFTB, blah, blah, blah. Well, prove me wrong then. If it's a narrative that's lied, prove me wrong. Because there's no way that you're going to fucking convince your fighter to take 14 fucking percent of a fucking bag where you think he's a generational talent. There's no way. And Bomac was an integral part in fucking making sure that Terrence Crawford signed and re-signed. As if he wasn't getting a cut. Okay, you guys convince me otherwise. But the bottom line is here, is that Terrence Crawford told you that he was making, at max, 14% of everything. And he didn't even know what everything was because he was not in the room with the networks for them to tell you what it was. Devin is in the room with the networks. He is, because he is Devin Haney Promotions. He is. Terrence Crawford is now in the room with the networks, which is why he can tell you what he's telling you, because he's now in the room with the networks. But before, if you didn't know, you only knew what somebody told you, then you were at the mercy of the information you had. Well, now he's in the benefit of the information that he knows. Errol Spence was making more than that man. More than him. More than him. Devin Haney is making more than Shakur. Terrence Crawford knows this because he knows exactly what the percentages that Shakur Stevenson is getting, and they're not as high as his. Terrence Crawford making 14% is not the amount of money Shakur is making. If you are the draw, if you're the bigger fighter, if you're the bigger name, you're going to make a bigger bag. 14% is what Terrence Crawford was making. Shakur Stevenson is not a bigger draw than Terrence Crawford. He's not a bigger name than Terrence Crawford, which is why he's not going to make the same 14% as Terrence Crawford. But Devin was offering him 25, and he said no. Thank you, Terrence Crawford. BFTB. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And I'm out.